Good afternoon, Robert Scribbler filming for the OBX wave report as the Glassy set rolls on in from the North Atlantic. Waves right now in the range of 2 to 3 feet across the Outer Banks, with much glassier, calmer conditions today than we have experienced recently, with the swell from Idalia finally starting to fade a bit. And over the next couple of days, we expect pretty calm conditions. But by late Sunday, the swell from Lee is expected to arrive, and Lee is expected to be a big, beastly, powerful hurricane that, though it is presently not expected to strike the U.S. East Coast, is likely to have some far-flung influences. This is what happens when you're out surfing for 3 sessions and you can't speak. Okay. Far-flung influences from Lee expected next week, and we're likely to see the swell from Lee for at least 5 days, possibly even longer. So some pretty epic conditions heading toward the Outer Banks. Just want to send out a note of caution. I've heard so many reports of people getting hurt surfing in the rough conditions. So please stay safe, guys. Please live to surf another day. We don't want injuries or, God forbid, anything that's life-threatening. So just please stay safe. Okay. All right. So let's get down to the wave monitors for the local observations right now at Nag's Head. According to the wave monitors, waves are in the range of 2 foot and clean, with an east-northeast swell at 2.2 foot in 10 seconds. On the sandbars, you might get the occasional 3-footer, maybe some larger ones. Saw some larger ones earlier. Of course, just a reminder that the angle that I'm filming from up here on the pier does mush down the waves a bit, so they will appear smaller from this higher angle. So east-northeast swell at Nag's Head at 2.2 feet in 10 seconds. South-south winds light at 4 miles per hour. Air temperature is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels very hot right now and humid. Ocean water temperature is 80 degrees. And to the north at Virginia Beach, waves in the range of 1 foot plus and clean conditions. And on down south to Rodanthe, waves in the range of 2 to 3 foot and clean as well, with an east-northeasterly swell at 2.5 feet and 10 seconds. Wow, with a bit of a lull here. Southwest winds at 8 miles per hour at Rodanthe. 83 degree Fahrenheit air temperatures, ocean water temperatures 79 degrees. And further south at Buxton, waves in the range of 2 to 3 foot plus, with fairly clean conditions. East-northeast swell at 2.6 foot, so a little bit larger. West-southwest winds at 10 miles per hour. Air temperatures 83 degrees Fahrenheit, ocean water temperatures 82 degrees. And at Frisco, 1 foot conditions and choppy. According to the wave forecast, waves are expected to continue to become smaller throughout the day and into tomorrow, with 1 to 2 foot waves predicted tomorrow, and maybe some 1-footers primarily on Saturday. So a bit of a break if the forecast is to be believed, and it does actually look like wave conditions are even calming down as we film here. Okay, so let's get some of the info provided by the National Hurricane Center, our good scientist friends at the National Hurricane Center, tracking Lee and other tropical disturbances. And right now, Lee is a Category 1 hurricane with 80-mile-an-hour winds east of the Windward and Leeward Islands. It is moving west-northwest, and looking at some of the satellite pictures, it does look like Lee is really starting to get some better organization. So I expect the next report from the National Hurricane Center to look a lot stronger for Lee. By the end of the day, Lee is expected to have 100-mile-an-hour winds and is expected to rapidly intensify over the next few days, becoming a major hurricane that could peak out as a strong Category 4 hurricane with 155 mile an hour winds, or even a Category 5 storm. So from the strength perspective, Lee bears watching, but it's also worth noting that the models are pointing toward Lee getting really big, as is expected to turn toward the north between the US East Coast and Bermuda. The swell from Lee is expected to start affecting the OBX by late Sunday. For now, Lee is expected to stay offshore, but grow to enormous size, as we've mentioned, and may create stormy conditions for parts of the US East Coast. So we'll just have to keep our eye on Lee. And it's worth noting that the record hot Atlantic Ocean is really looking like it is overpowering the El Nino influence, which typically generates a lot of wind shear that tends to keep the hurricane intensity and tropical cyclone intensity down, and tends to chop up storms and tends to limit the number of storms. That does not really appear to be happening this year. We've got we're at Lee, which I believe is number 12, and I bet we surpassed 20 for this year, just based on the current rate of tropical cyclone formation. Speaking of rapid tropical cyclone formation, we do have another tropical disturbance in the eastern tropical Atlantic, now with a 90% chance of developing over the next 7 days. So another cyclone likely in the pipe right behind Lee. And then last of all, we have post-tropical cyclone Franklin hanging out north and east of the Azores, with a 10% chance of redeveloping into a tropical cyclone. All right, so that's the official data from the National Hurricane Center and the weather models. Please keep tabs on the Hurricane Center for up-to-date information on hurricanes and expert scientific reporting, as well as safety bulletins and statements should storms threaten. All right, so this will conclude our Thursday, September the 7th wave report for the Outer Banks, and our forecast provided by the National Hurricane Center and wave monitors for upcoming swells and storm conditions. And as I typically do at the end of my wave report broadcast, I'd like to ask you guys to please do everything you can to help speed the transition to clean energy, as Dude gets a nice couple of nice turns on the backside there. Ooh, nice little pumps on the inside. So please do everything you can to help speed the transition to clean energy. Clean energy being wind, water, solar, electric vehicles, and all of the efficiencies and electrification and batteries, which will help to enable the clean energy transition. The clean energy transition will protect our coastlines from the impacts of climate change driven by fossil fuel burning. Those impacts being rising sea levels, more intense storms like we are seeing now during this El Nino year, which is just nuts. Ocean heat waves, which harm our ocean environment and harm our sea life, which we all enjoy and love. And last of all, cause ocean acidification, which beats the living daylights out of our coral reefs and all of the goodness and beauty that the coral reefs provide, including those wonderful reefs that we enjoy for surfing. All right, so thank you for joining me once again. I hope you guys get out into the water and enjoy some good waves before the swell dies. And much love to y'all. Please stay safe in the upcoming swell. I know you guys are going to be out there, so just do your best to keep safety first and watch out for your fellow surfers.